most companies face the brutal choice of hiring more agents or let the service suffer. And it turns out AI chatbots are now becoming problem solvers, actually faster than human teams. And customers are actually starting to prefer them. Remember those old kind of chunky chatbots that never understood anything you were saying or asking? Those days are over. Modern chatbots that are AI driven aren't just FAQ readers anymore. They've become surprisingly helpful problem solvers. Now, they're working alongside human agents, feeding them real-time information during actual customer interactions. This teamwork creates these super agents, those who can actually handle way more customer needs than ever before. So the tech industry is buzzing about this agent assistance trend, where chatbots quietly power human conversations behind the scenes. This is all due to something like NLP, natural language processing. And as it gets better, these systems understand way more complex questions and things just like an actual human would. That's just the beginning of how they're transferring support. Think about the last time when you were stuck on a customer service queue. I mean, literally on hold. That frustrating hold music that was playing in your ear like forever. Well, chatbots are eliminating those wait times by handling routine questions almost instantly. This revolution means that human agents can solely focus on the complicated things that really needs a human's touch. And the best part is that these AI assistants can work 24/7. No days off work, no holidays, or anything. And they make it personalized, so as if you are feeling like you're being understood. They're not replacing humans. They're making human support more powerful and more efficient. And the shift is bigger than just answering questions faster. AI chatbots are completely transforming and reshaping how businesses approach customer support as a whole. They're handling massive amounts and volumes of these inquiries without adding staff costs. They're available around the clock, no matter what region, time zone, or anything that you need them to be. And they're learning from every interaction, getting smarter and smarter and more efficient with every conversation. And they're becoming what customers almost expect: immediate answers whenever they need them. And what's really even impressive is how these systems can understand context and sentiment, which is almost a human emotion. And they can handle things when they know a caller is getting frustrated and shift that immediately. They can detect when to transfer to a human or handle something tricky right there in the moment. And I haven't talked about the cost savings. Now the cost savings, because people want to know about costs. There are businesses that are reporting savings of up to 30%, which is wild. Customer service usually improves once the wait time appears. So the technology is already here and it's getting better day by day. And these forward-thinking companies are actually implementing these solutions now and getting a serious, and I do mean serious, competitive edge over others. But the real question is, how long until your competitors use all of this technology, all of this information and efficiency against you and capitalize on the market? So knowing that AI bots are here, this is something that you need to be understanding and need to incorporate into your business. Whether you're service-based or product-based or whatever, B2B, B2C, you need to be adding some kind of efficiency and automation into your business standards. Now, knowing that these tools are in fact efficient and they can improve on your business, I'm going to show you two examples of them in action. But first, let's talk about how the examples are going to work. We're going to take my first choice. This is one of my favorite actual applications and platforms to use, especially when building products. This is Shopify. So what they have is a website. And on that website, you'll find a little chatbot here, right? So my inquiries will go into this chatbot. As a user, I'm actually going to type up some stuff, right? And I'm going to send it in that chatbot. Now, this chatbot then says, hey, I am actually going to read off this information and work accordingly. Now, when it does that, it's going to then pull information that already exists within that website. These are knowledge-based documents. Okay. This is saying that the information is readily available from the organization, and I'm then going to feed it to the model so that when users come and put in inquiries, ask questions related to transactions or shipping or anything, it can then reference that information from a database that has all of these documents and bits of knowledge stored into it. That's a bad representation of a database. But let's say it had hundreds of documents, protocols, things listed, just information readily available. And you can call to that information and surface it in the front end of your application. That's what we're going to call knowledge-based documentation retrieval. So I'm going to show you that here. Let's take a look at that in action.
So this payment was left in the actual Shopify payment account so as to pull from when payments are low or for the monthly payment. Apparently it didn't do so, and it's been pulling from a card, and now they're switching up their system. So they need to have you either complete some steps to transfer that out or move it so their new system can be active. What I'm really focused on in this is payments. So I'm going to click on payments, and I really want to work with Shopify payments. So this is what I'm really focused on. So I'm going to click here and go. This is all I'm doing before jumping into the AI chatbot. And the reason I'm doing this is so if it's tracking my activity, it can see that I've already looked through a few things before consulting it. That's just my process. Now, some people might just jump right into the chatbot, to each their own, but I want to make a concerted effort towards finding the information beforehand. Let's just do this and say, hey, so it tells me, hey, they can connect me to an advisor, but they might be able to answer my question quickly. Let's say, payments. So what I'm doing is that's the blanket statement. The payments are unclaimed. So we'll see just what it surfaces. Now, this could be, from the looks of it, this might be RAG AI. This is where you train the model with internal documentation and knowledge docs, if you will, about these sort of issues. And then once it's called in a request, that's when that information surfaces. And then there's links or areas that you can click out and gain more information. So that's usually how that works. This is not generative, meaning you type in a prompt and it gives you options or gives things that it generated on its own. This is more of a retrieval of knowledge-based data. It prompts me directly to speak with a support specialist, support advisor. And the reason for that is because there are some parameters they probably need to check. And there's really no documentation that kind of walks you through. You need that human process. So right here, and again, my request is to transfer those funds from out of one account, the Shopify balance, to a bank account. And again, mine has been locked. So this seems like the necessary step that I'm going to take. So I'm going to click that. Now, at any time, keep in mind, you have the option to chat with a support advisor. And that's an option. So keep that in mind. That's always an option. And once I said to transfer, it tells me the steps how to do so. So how do you go about transferring it from the account? Now it walks me through this, enters the information, and connects the account and authorize. But my issue is it's been locked. And that's not here on that. So now, instead of kind of walking through an additional step about locked accounts, I'll just see if I can speak to a specialist. That's kind of what I'm working towards now. So I'm just going to throw that in the chat and see what happens. It's waiting for it. But as you can see, now you're in the queue time. You have the ability to talk to it. It gives you information on if you're chatting to the advisor, and if there's any information that you can share to kind of support these things. So we'll see what happens and how this thing moves through the process as well. Now keep in mind, this only took, maybe less than 10 minutes. Me wanting the information to find it on my own, me going to a page that had relevant information. Then once I ran into a roadblock, I looked elsewhere. And that's where these chatbots can be really, really helpful, kind of surfacing information that doesn't take forever, but gives that access right away. Now, I could be calling right now numbers and trying to get a hold of someone just to say the same thing I'm doing here. And if that information was available, like how to go about doing that, I could easily access it. Mine was a little bit different because they locked the account. So I have to take another route to do that. I didn't see anywhere where it would tell me to unlock an account. And it's always that you need to speak to someone else. So that I'm fine with. And it's great to know that this can speed up any process you have, especially handling business functions like that.
So this is an example of me going to Shopify. I had a question in relation to doing a transfer. I had old funds in an account that was tied to the actual platform, and I needed to transfer it out. And so instead of calling someone because there was no number available, I actually jumped on. Now I'm asking and inquiring, can I speak to an advisor? Can I speak to an assistant? Can I just talk to someone in real time? What kept happening was the chatbot kept surfacing information related to transfers, but it didn't give me exactly what I needed. So after a few bits of conversation and communication, it started to then get really smart about what I was asking in relation to transactions, transfers, bank withdrawals, moving money, how to apply for them. And you start to see more and more of what I was asking surface in this chat. It starts to then list out information that it thinks that I need relative to my questioning. And more you'll start to see this because it handles it so well. There are topics that are related to what you need that it may send you to. And then there are some that have really high specificity that it may tailor that display of information to be very, very suitable for what you need. So it's very good idea. It's a really good idea to focus heavily on what you're searching for so that it can accommodate in real time. I'm going to cut this for the sake of time, and let's jump into my next example. So the next example I'll use would be, I'm going to move this up here just a bit. The next example I'll use is actually something that most people would not recommend or even recognize. So this is, I'm gonna do some, can I do it? Yep. Whatever. I had fun doing it. So we're gonna talk about Spirit. That is a funny plane, by the way. So we're gonna talk about Spirit Airlines. Now, I was booked to facilitate a design workshop, and some companies believe in being cost effective, so they book Spirit. Now, I've had bad experiences with Spirit Airlines in the past, but this one was a bit different. Now, recently, it actually sent me an email related to some changes that it was making. And in that email, it said, hey, you have to make a selection based on these changes. Now, you can do that by calling someone, or they had this blue button that says you can chat. And in that chat, it was a live AI chatbot. So going to the website, very similar to before, they had a chatbot that I could talk to as well. And in doing so, I was like, how is this going to solve my problem or help me? This is a change. Well, it asked a few specific questions. What it did was ask, personal information, things related to my actual flight. And then it prompted me my selection. What do you want to do? Do you want to choose A, B, or C for that matter? And I made one selection. In doing so, it was able to recognize what was happening in real time and check off those things and qualify that my answer was recorded. And then it gave me an option to add my email based on the transcript that was happening. So no, I didn't talk to an agent. 2, I selected what I needed to move forward. And 3, it said, hey, yeah, you didn't talk to a human. You talked to me. You gave your option. And then it proceeded to offer a transcription. So I had receipt of this selection in real time. And that took all but 5 minutes at most. That is the advantage of using AI and including it into your business processes. Had I called and talked to someone, it probably would have taken a longer time just for them to acknowledge I made the selection and to put that in action, where I did it with a few taps of the button and processed it almost immediately, and then got an email to support that. That's how you need to think of AI and using these autonomous systems to improve your business. That's all we have today. I hope these examples and the idea of using chatbot has resonated with you, and it's something you may be considering in your service-based or product-based business going forward. If you like this video for any reason and it provided value, give it a like, share it with someone, a business owner who you feel can gain value from it as well. And as always, your life has color, so make sure to design it that way. And until the next time, take care. We'll see you in the next one.